First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Behind me is my 2014 Honda CRF 250L, and it has faithfully served me for the last 6 years. I thought I would just go around the bike and show you what I've put on it. I honestly haven't put that much on it, and I haven't put anything on it in years. It just works great. So we got some discount parts. Let's take a look. Okay, now you can't actually see it, but the most expensive upgrade I've done to my Honda was I had the 286cc stroker kit installed. And that is supposed to give me better bottom end, supposed to give me more horsepower, and the dyno does show that. My bike dynoed at 27 at the wheel, which is about 7 more than this bike would do on its own. Now, some of that is due to the extra displacement, and some of that is due to the fuel tuner, which was professionally tuned to get the very most out of this motorcycle. Now, if you have ever seen the stock can that comes on this bike, it's a beast. It is comically heavy, has no sound at all that you would enjoy, and just isn't worth having. So I went ahead and I purchased this Delcovic 14-incher, and I went ahead and I did get the full system. So we're going all the way up and all the way back with Delcovic, and I have to tell you, I believe this was around $200, and it is worth every single penny. And it is fairly durable. This thing has taken many a hit. Now, right here is what I recommend to anyone. This is a YSS Shock with the appropriate spring for my weight. I don't care what dual sport you get. Some of them have what you would consider excellent suspension. None of them have the correct spring rate for a North American male. It's just, that's not how they come. Now, this bike did not come with a good shock, so I didn't replace the spring. I just did $399 for this YSS Shock for my weight, where while it did bring the seat height up, it was well worth it. Now, inside here is the investment you can't see, which is a set of progressive springs in the forks. This bike dives, and it dives easily. I mean, it dives braking. It dives when you stand up and lean forward. So $99, grab yourself some springs. It took me an hour to put them in. Money well spent. Now, this is a heavy dual sport. There's no way around it. And when shopping for a skid plate, I decided, let's get the plastic one from Chirby's. It's probably going to be the lightest, right? Well, yes. And not only is it the lightest, but this thing doesn't reflect noise back at you. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this right here, I almost regret buying it. It's the Seat Concept seat, and it's comfortable. It's fine. I do like and appreciate how it's grippy, but I could have lived without it. If you can get one of these for less than 200 bucks, I may recommend it, but honestly, I don't think it adds all that much. Back here, this is a cheap Chinese rack. Works fine, no complaints. Now, down here, this bike came with a chain guard, but I actually hit mine enough times on rocks that it had split and fallen apart. So I just went ahead and bought Chinese replacements for both on AliExpress. I think together they were $25. Not bad at all. I did go ahead and purchase foot pegs for this. I don't know if you can tell what color that is on the camera, but it's hot pink. They were red once. That was 5.5, 6 years ago, but now they are hot pink. Up here, I went again with another JFG part, simply because This comes with a big plastic housing, which fills with mud, making it impossible to clean. So something like this, I can spray it right out, clean it up. I had no problem with my original shifter, but I went ahead and bought a Tusk as a replacement. And then at one point, I just put it on to see if I liked it better. And honestly, I do. It sticks out a little bit farther. I don't know if you can see, but the old factory one, I did scratch up the case. Not a problem with the Tusk at all. Works great. Honestly, this is the luckiest thing I've purchased. I bought this radiator guard, and 1 week later, I put this bike down hard. And this shifted a little bit. It's still bent, but I'm pretty sure that I would have taken out my radiator if I did not have that. This is just something from Amazon, 25 bucks. Well worth the money. I highly recommend having a radiator guard simply because the radiator is expensive. Even on this bike where almost everything is cheap, the radiator is expensive. What we have here is just an Acerbis Supermoto fender. The original one comes out maybe down to here. Honestly, it was kind of ugly, so I got rid of it for $25. No problem. Well, I guess we can't call that really a modern upgrade. Oops. But hey, it's helping out. That brings us up to the bars. These are Chubb fat bars. They are fantastic. I absolutely love them. I have zero complaints. The bars that come on this bike are basically junk. You will bend them the first time you drop it. So Pro Tapers, Chubbs, Tusks, anything. Just, you're going to replace the bars. You might as well. For handguards, I just bought the cheapest ones I could that had aluminum. So Tusk D-Flex, as you can see, they've worked really well. The only downside to them is that they don't really block as much as a Barkbuster, but that's what you get for paying 1/3 of what a Barkbuster costs. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. These mirrors are great. These mirrors work fine. I have no complaints with them. But honestly, I don't use mirrors on this bike all that often because I don't ride on the road for more than 20 miles. And damn, those things are expensive. Sometimes I wish I had just saved the money. I was scratching the heck out of the paint, both with my boots and by falling. So I did go ahead and get some Acerbis guards. They're about 3 years old now. They work great. They do their job. The paint's no longer being scratched. I wish I'd put them on sooner because I do have quite a bit of gouges on both sides. Over here, I went ahead and I put on a new JFG Racing brake pedal. And the reason I did that was I had bent mine so badly, so many times that I just gave up bending it back. And I realized that I was 1 or 2 drops from snapping it off. This has been great. The only thing I did need to do is I had to buy a new OEM spring because while the other one, while bent, worked fine, it simply wasn't tight enough to properly actuate the brakes with the JFG. So if you're putting one of these on, you may want to go and pick up a $4 spring on the internet. All right, there you have it. That's the list of Farkles that I have on my Honda. It's a great bike. It's totally taken care of me. I've put a couple of dollars into it that in some cases I didn't really need to, like the exhaust and the fuel tuner and upgrading it to 286. But I paid so little for the bike and it's treated me so well and I've had so much fun on it. I don't regret a single penny I've put into this bike. All right, if you stuck around, I appreciate it and take care.